Wagwan me YouTube family, and welcome back to another video in our baking series. So today we are make some sorrel fruit cake without using the puree. So we have here a pound of sorrel, and we have the basic ingredients to making the sorrel fruit cake. So here we have some margarine, 2 sticks of margarine, we have 5 eggs, we have all-purpose flour, rose water and almond essence, Eve browning, baking powder, soaked fruits, we have vanilla, cinnamon powder, salt, and you can go ahead and add all spices if you please. Alright guys, so I'll get right into it. So first I'll go wash off the sorrel. So you want to get rid of all the excess dirt and all of that, some insect here and there on the sorrel. So just I'll go wash off the sorrel, right? So round about this time of the year, sorrel fruit cake is very popular. So I'm going to show you how to make the sorrel fruit cake without using the puree. I'm going to put a link in the top right corner, so you can click on that link to making the sorrel fruit cake using the puree. But today we are not going to use the puree form, right? So just watch closely to see what we're going to be doing. So we have the rinsed sorrel, right? We have some ginger, crushed ginger. So we're just going to go ahead and blend the soaked fruits. I also have a video on how to soak the fruits to making your sorrel fruit cake or your Christmas or black fruit cake, right? So I'm going to put a link in the top right corner. You can click on it and it show you how to soak your blended fruit. So afterwards, this is how the fruit look after it is blended, right? So just I'm gonna put that one side. We're going to move over to preparing the sorrel for the sorrel fruit cake, right? So it is very easy guys. So what you're going to do is just to boiling water, you're going to add the sorrel. You can also go ahead and add the ginger. If you have pimento leaf, you can add the pimento leaf. You can also add cinnamon leaf. Some people like to brew the sorrel in wine and rum, but guys, to me it don't make any sense because the wine and the rum will evaporate once it starts to boil. So I just use the plain water, but don't add a lot of water to the sorrel. So I allow the sorrel to get cool. Once it is at room temperature, we're just going to pour the blended fruits into the sorrel, right? So you pour the blended fruits into the sorrel mixture, combine everything, give it a stir, and that's it, right? So this is how it's supposed to look. Not too watery, not too thick, just right. So here for the dry ingredients, I have 2 cups of flour. So that's 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and half teaspoon of salt, right? Afterwards, you're going to also add some cinnamon powder. You can add a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, or based on your liking. You can also go ahead and adjust the spices and the flavors that you add to the cake, right? I'm going to also grate some nutmeg. Again, you can alter the cinnamon powder and the nutmeg based on your liking, or you can remove it if you don't like, because it's not everybody like the cinnamon powder and the nutmeg into their cake, right? Afterwards, you're going to sieve to get everything fully combined. Okay, for this recipe I'm using 2 sticks of butter and 3/4 cup of brown sugar. So I'm going to cream the butter and the sugar together, and I'm going to whisk until it is fluffy, right? So you want to cream the butter and the sugar together, right? so you can keep those to grease the baking tins. So that's 3/4 cup of sugar, and we're just going to go ahead and cream the butter and the sugar together. Okay, so for the liquid, we're going to use 4 to 5 eggs. I'm using 4 eggs. You want to crack the eggs in separate container just to prevent you from adding spoiled egg or shell to the whole mixture. Right? After you add the eggs, I'm just going to go ahead and flavor it with a teaspoon of lime juice. You can add a tubs of zest, about 1/4 teaspoon of zest, lime zest. I added here 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and I'm just going to whisk to get everything fully combined. The purpose for the lime zest or the lime juice is to minimize the rawness from the egg, so you don't want to add a lot of eggs. And I also added a 1/4 teaspoon of rose water and almond essence. So to the creamed butter and sugar, add a little by little and blend, right? So you want to ensure that you add a little bit at a time and blend everything in. So once the butter and the eggs have been fully combined, you want to add the blended fruits to the mixture with the egg and the butter. Afterwards, you're going to add the flour little by little and fold everything in. Right? And this is how it is looking after we have added the flour to the mixture with the cream, butter, and the eggs. Afterwards, you want to ensure that you preheat your oven and grease the foil papers, grease the foil pans, right? And this mixture heal 2 8-inches 2-pound cake, sorrel fruit cake. Guys, with the browning, it is optional. I didn't want my cake to be plain, so I go ahead and add the browning. But if you want to, you can leave out the browning, but I opted to using the browning. The sorrel is not that rich where it would produce a red color, but if you want to, you can go ahead and add food coloring. I don't want to add that to my cake, so I leave it as is and added the browning instead. With the butter, guys, the butter will eventually melt into the oven, so you don't have to worry about that. So in the meantime, you want to ensure that the oven is preheated. So we're going to bake the cake for an hour and a half. For the first 30 to 40 minutes, you want to increase the heat at 180 degrees Celsius. And then for the remaining minutes, you want to reduce the flame to 150 degrees Celsius. If you'd like to, you can put a water bath underneath the bottom of the oven to prevent the cakes from drying out, but that's optional, guys. You don't have to, because with this temperature the cakes won't burn, right? And as we said before, it heals 2 8-inches 2-pound cake, right? And this is us, guys. We're just going to slip them into the oven and allow them to be baked. Alright guys, so this is the following day, and what I want to tell you guys, Once you reach the 1.5 hour, you just want to pull the cakes out and test it. So how you're going to do that is to use a knife and pierce the middle of the cake. Once the knife goes through and it is clean, that means the cake is slow. Guys, that is not it. This is the following day, because we already wet that cake with Ray Nephew and Red Label wine. So this is not the cake test. That is not testing to find out if the cake is cooked. That's the following day and the cake is already soaked with rum and wine. Alright, so yes, that's how you test the cake. And as you see, it pull away from the side, so that means it is dry. Right, so you want to add the rum and the wine immediately as you take it from the oven while it is still warm, so it can absorb that wine and rum. So there we done one already, guys, and a two we make. When cake can't stay in the house, guys. That's slap way. For everyone who tried the cake and get a piece or a slice, comment down below and make the people them know how the cake tastes. I not have to taste the cake and say, yeah, the cake tastes good. Or comment down below if you get piece and you try it and it did taste good, or it didn't taste good, or whatever. Comment and make the people them know how the cake tastes, even though we know it tastes good already. So these are my slice, guys, and I'm going to try this. It is very thick, it is heavy, so it have weight, right? And you can see that nice and lovely, well soaked with the Red Label wine and we're rum, and looking very lovely. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you do, give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new and you haven't yet done so. Now it's time to eat piece of the cake now. Yeah, cake tastes good. The cake are gone. Bye, guys.